24th place. A lot of people are going to disagree with me on this one, but I've gone for Watford. Yeah, I really don't rate their transfer business and their new manager, Tom Cleverley, this season. First place I've gone for Luton. I think this was confirmed before a ball was kicked in the Premier League last season. You know, he signed the Championship squad, Luton, that, you know, if they went down, they come straight back up.
The Championship table predictions. It always comes back to bite us, doesn't it, lads? Let's talk about these awful predictions. Hello guys, welcome back to another video on the channel today. As I've already said, we are back with the Championship table predictions, reacting to the predictions I made all the way back at the start of the season. Now the 24-25 season has concluded. Still got playoffs to go, but you know, I thought while it's fresh in my mind, we'll react to what I predicted back at the start of the season. First video in a long time. Yeah, I just want to say, if there are any of you still watching and do enjoy, do feel free to leave a like. And if you're new, do feel free to subscribe to the channel. We'll be massively appreciative. But I know what you guys are here for. Here to just see me, you know, get all of these wrong. You know, embarrass myself, have egg on my face. Let's react to these, shall we? So this year we're not gonna do the usual, go from bottom to top and say, oh, I had this team there, and they finished here, whatever. I'm gonna, if you are a fan of Benjamin Bloom and you saw his reaction to his Championship table predictions, I think he's the quickest YouTuber to do it, really. I haven't seen many other people react to Championship predictions this early after the season has finished, but the way he did it, he sort of had the number of places he was out with each team, and he went through them, sort of the closest team first down to the team that he got the furthest out with, if that kind of makes sense. So let's just get started. We'll start with two teams who I've got exactly bang on in my correct position. You see, two teams are Burnley in second. I said they would come second, and Coventry. I said they would come fifth, and they took fifth from Bristol City on the final day, following a 2-0 win against Middlesbrough. But let's start with Burnley. I mean, wow, 100 points and to not win the league, very tough on Burnley. But you know, is it about winning the league, or is it just promotion? And that's the main goal for Burnley. For any Burnley fans, do let me know in the comments. But yeah, they've absolutely smashed it, haven't they? Broke all the defensive records. Only 16 goals conceded in the Championship season. 16 goals in 46 games. That's about a goal conceded every other 3 games. Yeah, it's mental how defensively minded they've been under Scott Parker this season. You know, fair play to them. I'm a bit skeptical of them in the Premier League. If they can find that striker to bag, you know, sort of 10 goals, like Liam Delap did for Ipswich. Problem with Ipswich, they've conceded far too many goals, but Delap was a constant threat for them. You know, that'll be a good signing for Burnley. You know, they have had a few links with Ipswich, you know, this season. Haven't got backup keeper Hadlaki in. Obviously, Trafford has been the number one, but Hadlaki came from Ipswich. You know, if we can get Liam Delap from Ipswich, because you know, Ipswich have now been relegated, Burnley will play in Premier League football, Ipswich will be playing Championship football. That would be a good sign, and if we can keep that defensive structure and have a physical presence up front like Delap, you know, he's a handful. He gets himself, he does get about in games. I can see him surviving. It's just Scott Parker has never kept his side up in the Premier League, and his last recent Premier League game he took charge of was a 9-0 defeat away to Liverpool with Bournemouth. So question mark still over Scott Parker in the Premier League, but no, congratulations to Burnley. They've been absolutely insane this season. 100 points. Yeah, what more could you want as a Burnley fan? And then Coventry in fifth. Coventry has has been a real interesting one this season. Obviously, started off with Martin Robbins. Things went a bit sour with him. He got sacked. I think the club was, it was definitely in the bottom half of the team when he was sacked. Frank Lampard came in, done an incredible job to get the side, thriving really. Now we're in the playoffs, semi-final versus Sunderland. And honestly, fair play to Lampard. He's done a great job with his squad. A key player who I've picked out of Coventry this season is Jack Roduni. He's been really, really instrumental. 9 goals, 12 assists. I think he'll go down as Coventry's player of the season for me. He's been fantastic, and I mean, Coventry, they do like a trip to Wembley. Sunderland aren't in good form at the moment. I can very much see them making the playoff final. So yeah, just credit to Lampard, and Coventry have done really, really well. Those were 2 teams who I got bang on. I've got quite a few teams who are only got 1 place out. Those being West Brom, Derby, and my club Bristol City. So we'll start with Derby. I have them to survive in 20th, and of course they did survive, finishing 1 place higher, in fact, in 19th. Paul Warren started the season with them. He's always been relegated in the Championship when he was managing Rotherham. So people have question marks over that, but I thought they had a good enough squad to survive. And obviously they have, but they parted ways with Paul Warren. I think it was about in February time. John Eustace, who had recently left Blackburn, joined them, and he's had an instrumental upturn in form with them. He is a decent manager at this level, isn't he, John Eustace? And just I do see them needing to strengthen a lot in the summer though, because overall when I look at that squad, I don't see it with much Championship quality, if I'm honest. I think it's going to be another battle for them to survive next season, but fair play to them. They've survived their first season back in the Championship. It's great to see Derby, a club of this stature in the Championship. Forest fans won't like to hear that, but they are a big club. It was really, really horrible what they had to go through with that point deduction all those years ago. But they're back now, and hopefully back for good. Need a big summer transfer window though. And then West Brom, they finished 9th for me, and I'll predict them 10th. And I think a lot of people have him in the playoffs, but I was a little bit sceptical. They lost Brandon Thomas Asante to Coventry, who was a big player for them last season when they did make the playoffs. I didn't foresee Carlos Corberán leaving though to Valencia. That was a real blow for them, for the Baggies. A really top manager, and he got Valencia out of a relegation zone in La Liga this season. So he has a big impact everywhere he goes, Carlos Corberán. But Tony Mowbray replacing him. That experiment did not work, didn't it? He was sacked with about 4 games left of the season. Playoffs were pretty much already over for them by that point, and now we've got former player James Morrison at the helm. I don't know where West Brom are going to go next. Obviously, we've got a good couple of players like Tom Fellows. He's got quite a few assists this season. Mikey Johnston, another star player out that side. So they'll always be up there, West Brom. But it's just when you think of West Brom, you think they are probably one of the biggest Championship clubs in the league, and they should always be at least top 6, if not pushing for top 2. But they always flatter to deceive West Brom, it's not been a good year for them. It hasn't really. It's been underwhelming. Don't know how next season's going to go, but listen, I'm happy I had a good prediction there of them not making the playoffs. And then Bristol City, my club, I did believe we'd be in for a good season, and mate, playoffs it is. I still can't believe it. It's absolutely unreal. our manager Liam Manning, give him the keys to the city. Honestly, he's done a fantastic job. Oh my god, I cannot. I'm still not over it. That pitch image at the end, the scenes, boys. Oh my days, we've done it. We're in the playoffs. Listen, even if we don't win the playoffs, you know, with the underdogs finishing 6th, you know, it's still been a massive season. There's no reason to not believe this club is on an upward trajectory now. You know, players like Jason Knight definitely will be heavily interested from the Premier League. He's been brilliant this season. You know, him and Max Bird in midfield. Obviously, yeah, they have that. They play together at Derby, so you know, they got that brilliant connection in the middle of the park. Them two being fantastic this season. Ross McCrory has popped up with quite a few goals from wing back, which is interesting. Of course, he got 2 goals yesterday against Preston. Yeah, it's been a good season. Finally, we have something to cheer about. Big up to Liam Manning, fair play to the squad. You've done us proud. Playoffs it is, and yeah, be back in City all the way. And yeah, I backed us to have a good season, and we have. So very proud, and I'm glad to see that I haven't underestimated my club. But yeah, City in the playoffs. Who knows? Can we get promoted? We couldn't, could we, lads? Moving on to the 2 teams who I got 2 places out. So pretty dead on with them. The teams I had 2 places out were Swansea and Plymouth. Let's start with Plymouth because they have unfortunately got relegated. I predicted them to survive in 21st. Unfortunately, they've gone down in 23rd. Listen, Wayne Rooney is not a great manager at all. He goes into teams and he just completely eradicates the system he played before, brings in his system, expected it to work. It just doesn't go to plan, and the team just crumbles and they go spiraling down the table. It happened with Birmingham last season. It happened this season. Plymouth got rid of Wayne Rooney, brought in Miran Muslic, and since then they've looked a different team. You know, people will say, you know, it has been too little, too late. Obviously, Muslic was brought in January. If Plymouth brought him in literally about like a couple months earlier, they would have been safe. They would be a championship club right now. Sadly, it hasn't worked out that way. But surely keep Muslic for next season, and in League One should bounce straight back up. He's a fantastic manager, motivates the players brilliantly, and you know, with it, obviously seen his speech when he first joined the club. Yeah, he's definitely a manager with a lot of potential. He's going places. I reckon Plymouth will come back very, very soon. We could see, because we've got great fans Plymouth. And then Swansea again is a real weird one because I predicted them 9th. They finished in 11th. Started the season with Luke Williams. They had an okay start at a period where they weren't scoring a goal. That's the thing with Swansea. That's got to be their main target next season. Invest in a big striker, because I think their top scorer was Liam Cullen with I think 12 goals, wasn't it? I mean, it's around the same amount of goals as our top scorer, Ants Mehmeti, has got. Yeah, that's the thing. I think, yeah, Swansea, we only scored about 8 more goals than Swansea. But yeah, we've had quite a similar defensive record as well. It's weird how we're in the playoffs. To be fair, Swansea only 7 points off the playoffs. That's something that has been quite a low bar to get into the playoffs this season. 68 we finished on, which is the joint lowest record of getting into playoffs. Leicester got 68 in that season, where they have that famous Deeney goal. Yeah, absolute scenes. Still one of the best championship moments of all time. But yeah, with Swansea, obviously Luke Williams was sacked around February time. He went on a poor run of about only 1 win, about 7-8 games. You know, typically that 1 win was against Bristol City. But yeah, I think Alan Sheehan replaced Luke Williams, and since then Swansea have only gone that way. Rightfully so, being given the full-time job now. Who knows what Swansea can do next season under a full pre-season with Sheehan, get the players he wants. Swansea can go anywhere. I really do think Swansea, they're going to challenge once again at the top end of a championship. Hopefully it's not another false dawn, because we have had a few false dawns in recent times. Swansea, Russell Martin, Michael Duff, Luke Williams. Hopefully Alan Sheehan is not another one of those. But it's positive signs for Swansea. We need a striker for 100%. And then there's 4 teams who I got 3 places out. Those 4 teams were Portsmouth, who I said in 19th, they finished 16th. QPR had in 12th, where they finished 15th. I had Sheffield United 6th. They did get a playoff place, but they were 3rd, pushing the Burnley and Leeds in top 2 for quite a while this season, but ultimately fell short in the end. They had to settle for playoffs. And Leeds was the other team who I got 3 places out. I thought they would only have enough to finish in playoffs 4th. They've gone and smashed that, won the league. I mean, let's start with Leeds, best team in the league. Scoring goals for fun. But they've won it on goal difference. They've got 100 points, same as Burnley, but they've won it on goal difference. Yeah. I think we all just want to see Leeds fall apart again. Sadly, that hasn't happened, but, Danny Farke in the Premier League, he's always got relegated. There's a massive chance that Leeds will be falling apart soon, so don't you worry, Leeds fans. The chance we'll be coming back, but will we sack Farke before the start of the season? Who knows? Will we be that brutal to get rid of him after just delivering a 100-point season? Obviously, Job Hero scoring for fun. He's finally clicked as a Leeds player. It's good to see. Other great players such as Ayo Tanaka in the midfield, Nonto, of course, he's class. Yeah, it could have really got even more points if they dropped Meslier earlier on in the season. Meslier, yeah, he can't go to the Premier League with them. Even Carl Darlow, I'm not sure is Premier League quality. I think we do need to sign a goalkeeper. A decent defensive record as well, Leeds. If Pirro can replicate the goals he scored in the Championship at Premier League, obviously he's never been in the Premier League before, but if he can make the step up to Premier League, then Leeds will be absolutely fine. Just, seeing the last 2 seasons, 3 teams go up, the same 3 teams go back down. It's not good. It's not good reading for any team that gets promoted to the Championship, but from the Championship, sorry. But we'll see. We'll see what happens with Leeds. And yeah, Portsmouth, I have them to survive in 19th. They've survived comfortably in 16th. John Mousinho, manager with a lot of potential, and they've got really, really exciting players. Like Josh Murphy, I think he's got about 7 goals, 14 assists. Brilliant season for him. Good pick up from Oxford in the summer. Callum Lang was scoring quite a few at the beginning of the season, but I think then he got an injury about midway through, didn't he? I think he did. But he's still a great player on today. And also Colby Bishop, when he came back from his heart problem, 11 goals, not too bad. They've stayed up, they've survived, they've relied a lot on home form. I think going into next season, they cannot just survive on home form. So I think they have like the 10th best home form, but they had the 2nd worst away form, only by Plymouth, who got relegated. So that needs to be an area they need to try and improve on next season for Pompey. But brilliant first season back in the Championship. I think they'll be fine for next season. Be interested to see what transfer business they do next season. And then, QPR I had with 3 places out. It's another intriguing one with QPR. They're up and down, the Championship season. 1 point they're staring down barrel relegation, and they're all can we get playoffs here? They've just evened out to about 15th. I have them in 12th. I don't know what to think of QPR. Marty Cifuentes, will he leave? He's been placed on gardening leave, whatever that means. Don't know, Jeff. But yeah, I don't think he'll go to West Brom. I think those rumours were shut down fairly quickly. But yeah, it's not with all due respect to QPR, it's not there clearly isn't the ambition there just yet. I look at a squad and I think, it's a fairly average squad, which is why they finished in the mid-table. So I don't know. It's gonna be interesting to see what I do next year. Will Cifuentes still be at the helm? Time will only tell. But the final team got 3 places out with Sheffield United. I had them 6th, they finished 3rd in the end. As we say, they were pushing the top 2 for a while, but they just fell away and they had to settle for the playoffs. Still got a brilliant team like Gustavo Hamer, Oliver Arblaster has had a really good season. Ryan Brewster chipped in with important goals, not many, but important goals. Of course, that winner in the Stoke City derby at Hillsborough must have been huge for the Sheffield United fans at the time. I'm excited for the prospect of Sheffield United in the playoffs. Of course, Bristol facing Sheffield United in the playoff semi-finals, and we've got toe-to-toe to them. You know, they scored a last-minute winner at our place. We scored a last-minute equaliser at their place, so it will be a close game. It will be a close game. 90 points though for Sheffield United, and to not get automatic promotion, very, very harsh. They are probably looked at as the favourite to win the playoffs. I don't think they will survive in the Premier League if they go up, I'll be honest. I think Chris Wilder, whenever he's gone there, he's flopped over. Apart from the first season, he was there when they finished 9th. Could have got Europe, which is crazy. But yeah, I don't know. Again, a bit sceptical if they do go to the Premier League, which is a shame. But fair play, they had a good season. Can they get through the playoffs? We'll have to wait and see. We will have to wait and see, boys. And then we move to the teams who I got 5 places out with, and those teams were Oxford, Stoke City, and who was the other one? Norwich. That's it. So Stoke, Oxford, and Norwich had 5 places out. I mean, let's start with Stoke and Oxford because I have to hold my hands up and give a massive apology to Stoke and Oxford fans, because I had you to go down at the start of the season. I had Stoke in 23rd, they finished 18th, and I think quite a lot of people would have agreed with me that Oxford were going down. I have them in 22nd. So I had quite a bit of optimism for them with them compared to most other people, because most predictions that I've seen had Oxford bottom, which of course they were always the underdogs, and they've defied the odds, which is brilliant. They finished in 17th, but let's start with Stoke. I mean, it's been a tumultuous season for Stoke. I don't think anyone could have predicted for Stoke to have gone through 3 managers this season. First started off with Steven Schumacher. He was sacked very early on, around September time. Brought in Narcis Palac, who was an unknown quantity really. He never had a full-time job. I think he was a assistant coach at Norwich, and Stoke took a gamble on him. He did okay, but he didn't have much time, didn't he? He didn't have much time. And then he was sacked just after Christmas, I think it was. Mark Robins, is a very experienced manager at this level. Of course, done brilliant things with Coventry. But yeah, they just got over the line in the end. And again, Stoke, another underwhelming season. When you look at the squad, no offence, it's bang average. Tom Cannon scoring all the goals in the first half of the season with 9 goals. Then he went to Sheffield United, and the goals just dried up for him. They survived on final day following a 0-0 draw with Derby County. Yeah, I don't know with Stoke. I think they're still only going one way, and that is down. It's coming. It is coming. Might not be next season. Might not be the next. It might make a really long time, but it just must be so miserable as a Stoke fan. I mean, credit to any Stoke fan out there, because yeah, it's always bottom half for you, isn't it? Always false dawns with these managers. What if firstly Stoke fans watching? What do you think about this season? Do you think you were right to sack Schumacher, sack Palac? Is Mark Robins the guy to take you forward? Do let me know. It's weird one with Stoke, isn't it? It's real weird one. And Oxford as well. Huge flowers must be given to Oxford, because they have defied everyone's odds. They have stayed up, and that is brilliant news for them. That is just fantastic. Fair play to Oxford. We all will predict them to go down. I'm sure we did. If you say you didn't, you're lying. But nah, fair play to Oxford. 17th finish in the end, and you know what? They took a gamble around December. They got rid of Des Booker, their manager, who took them up obviously last season for the League One playoffs. They've brought in a veteran manager in Gary Rowett, and the gamble paid off. Gary Rowett had a brilliant impact, great uprising for him. and they've survived comfortably in the end. Oxford have got great results, beat the likes of Sheffield United, Sunderland. Yeah, they've done really well, Oxford. It'll be interesting to see how they go on next season. Again, I think they need a lot of strengthening in the summer, but the great news is for them is that they've stayed up, and yeah, fair play to them. And the other team I got 5 places out was Norwich. This time I overestimated them. I said they'd be 8th, they're 13th. Yeah, I don't know with Norwich. It's, yeah, obviously Borja signs at the start of the season was scoring goals for fun. You know, then he slowed down, didn't he? But I do think he'll move away. Likewise with Josh Sargent, I do think he'll move. I think they don't see the ambition of Norwich anymore. It's a shame. Johannes Thorpe starts out the season, and he was only sacked recently in April. Following, yeah, it was a pretty bad run of form, wasn't it? Yeah, they fell away from the playoff picture, and just yeah, they've gonna be interested to see what they do next season. It's been again a real weird season for Norwich. Any Norwich fans watching, do let me know what your thoughts were on this season. Wind outside, do apologise for that, boys. But yeah, Norwich 13th. I was 5 places out. I'll take that. And I was 6 places out with 3 teams. 6 places out with Hull, Millwall, and Sheffield Wednesday. Let's start with Millwall because, yeah, fair play to Millwall. They had a brilliant end to the season, nearly got in the playoffs, but ultimately too little too late for them in the end. Great defensive structure, only 49 goals conceded this season. Yeah, obviously we started the season off with Neil Harris as manager. He left for them their 1-0 defeat to Middlesbrough around December time. Alex Neil came in and done really well. You know, he's experienced as a manager. You know, obviously, I wasn't Alex Neil done stuff with Norwich back in the day, getting them promoted in 2015. Done really well with Preston. And Stoke, he had a bit of a hard time at Stoke, but every manager has a hard time at Stoke. It seems to be that way. Yeah, fair play to Millwall. You know, next season if they can just score a bit more goals, maybe they could actually push for playoffs. But saying that, Mihailo Ivanovic has scored 11 goals in all competitions since the turn of the year. Not bad. You know, he really came into his own second half of the season up front for Millwall. You know, it's always tough for Millwall to get into playoffs, isn't it? They're always that team on the edges, you know, not quite have enough goal power to make it with. If Ivanovic can continue his goal for him at the start of next season, they've got every chance of getting in there. And it would be funny to see Millwall in the Premier League with West Ham, wouldn't it? It would be funny. But yeah, I was 6 places out of Millwall. I said they'd be in 14th, they were 8th. And then Hull, I said they'd be 15th. And yeah, they were a real wild card coming into the season. Hull make erratic decisions, don't they? They really do. Their owner, actually in Charlie, sacking Liam Rosenior for a 7th place finish. What are you doing? It turned out to be because, I mean, Hull have Matt Speed said it on his review of the final day on Saturday. You know, they have tripped over the finish line in terms of securing safety. A 1-1 draw on the final day away at Portsmouth, and they stay up on goal difference. Yeah, Tim Volter, who they brought in at the start of the season. Yeah, a very forgettable time there, if I'm honest. I cannot remember one thing Tim Volter did, that was, you know, exciting for the whole fans. And then Ruben Sayers came in. He managed Reading beforehand, and he was having a good season with Reading, and he's done well with Hull. He's a decent manager at this level. You know, he knows how to get the best out of his players. Again, need more strength in next season. I look at Hull squad, probably think Gelhardt is probably the only class player from Leeds. I think he's still alone. Hopefully be looking to make that permanent. You won't get game time at Leeds now, will he, Gelhardt, with them going up to the Premier League. But yeah, it must be a roller coaster of a season for Hull. But they've stayed up. That's all that matters. Next season, can we kick on? Who knows? They got an erratic owner in charge. But sometimes he makes good decisions. Sometimes he makes very puzzling decisions. I think that's fair to say. decisions that make you scratch your head and think, why? I don't know why he's done that, but you know, we'll see what happens with him next season, how Hull do. And in Sheffield Wednesday, I have him in 18th. They finished 12th in the end under Danny Rowe, who's obviously a brilliant manager at this level. I think, will he get the Southampton job next season? Possibly. He just, obviously, if you compare it to last season, where he barely just survived, obviously Danny Rowe coming in and saving the club, this has been a successful season for Sheffield Wednesday. Still really big issues with their owner. Chansiri, get out of the club, mate. Sell the club for the good of yourself and the good of the fans. Hillsborough, the city. Just sell the club. It's best for both parties. It invested absolutely zero into the club, and players which look at that squad and think, that's relegation fodder. All due respect, it's down to Chansiri not investing in this squad, but Danny Rowe's worked wonders with the bare bones he's had to work with. Fair play to him. He deserves a shot at Southampton, try and get them back up to the Premier League next season. But that will leave, I don't know what that will mean for Sheffield Wednesday. But we're in the Championship for another season. It's good to see them still in Championship, big club. If we can knock out Sheffield United in the playoff semi-finals, we'll still see Derby will still be around next season. So I imagine Wednesday fans are looking at City and thinking, go on, knock them out. But yeah, Sheffield Wednesday in 12th. And also, Ike Ugbo, I said in my prediction video, they've not got him back from the French League yet. Literally, about a day after I uploaded that video, he signed. However, he did nout. He did absolutely nothing. No goals. And it's a real shame because second half of last season, he was really instrumental in keeping them up. But that's the thing. Josh Windass has carried them this season. That halfway line goal against Derby, contender for goal of the season. I'm serious. You won't see many better goals like that this season. But yeah, those were the teams who I was 6 places off with. Sheffield Wednesday, Hull, and Millwall. Right, and here is where the predictions get a little questionable. You guys can laugh at for sure. 7 places out of their actual prediction, I had Middlesbrough. And did I undercook them? Did I overcook them? I overcooked them, boys. I thought they'd be third. I thought they'd get playoffs. I thought they'd be chasing top 2. It's been a very, very inconsistent season for Borough. I've been talking to James Macy, shout out to you. I've been talking to you online a lot about obviously you're a Borough fan. And yeah, say about a lot of change needed for next season. I think at the start of the season, a lot of Borough fans would be like, I think this could be a season we get back in playoffs under Michael Carrick. I think I made my prediction before Tommy Conway had signed, but even though I hate him now, we got his revenge when George Jeffrey scored the winner. Forever we'll hate Conway as a player now. I should rephrase that. We'll always hate him now as a person for how he left the club and how he came back and shushed us when he scored. But as a player, he's a decent player. But if as before he signed for Borough, of course Latte Laugh had a brilliant first half season. I don't know why they would send him to the MLS. If they could next season, right, they just need a player of Latte Laugh's quality. There'll be question marks about Michael Carrick, but yeah, if he's 10th in the end, I don't know. Maybe a lot of changes needed at Borough. Who knows? But it's definitely been a very, very underwhelming season for Borough by a lot of people's standards. I think that's fair to say. And then 8 places out, I had Cardiff. I had them 16th. But they've actually gone down, bottom of the league. Plymouth were down and out. They've been bottom of the league for ages. And Cardiff, you know, they managed to snatch bottom spot from Plymouth, you know. Well done, lads. Well done, round of applause. Round of applause for Cardiff. You're going down. You're going down. No, I won't make a you know, sort of a clip worthy moment about Cardiff, because you know how the last one ended out. Those fans on Twitter are just, yeah, we'll forget about that. But you know, it's brilliant news, isn't it? It's brilliant news for Bristol and Swansea fans. You know, Vincent Tan, you're a legend. Thank you, mate. Yeah. To be honest, I don't know why I picked him in 16th. You know, if you look at that squad, it's bang average. That's down to the owner, Vincent Tan. He's killed the club. You know, yeah. And you know, maybe it has been coming. It has been coming. It should have happened in 22-23 when Reading got the point deduction. Last season, I don't know how they fluked 12 because they conceded a bunch of goals. Conceded 5 that relegated Rotherham on the final day. Like Jesus Christ, Errol Ballou, Omar Reza, Aaron Ramsey, Vincent Tan. Thank you, because you've made it a brilliant season. Cardiff going down. From a perspective as well, Cardiff going down, Bristol Rovers going down, Bristol City in the playoffs. Mate, it has been one hell of a season. And yeah, Cardiff going down. Ole, ole. Now you're gonna believe us. Now you're gonna believe us. Now you're gonna believe us. The Scum are going down. Brilliant, brilliant, boys. And yeah, I have them 8 places out though. 9 places out. 2 teams I have 9 places out. Sunderland and Preston. Now we'll start with Sunderland. I have them 13th. I think that was quite a you know, the general region of where most people have them. Obviously, we had coming off the back of an underwhelming season. Last time out finishing, I think was it 15th, 16th. Yeah, which by Sunderland standards is very, very poor. And you know, they brought in a manager, Regis Labrie, who the season prior had just got Lorient relegated. Now, maybe those traits of relegation has come into them just now, because yeah, I'm reading it here. Winless in their last 6 games going into the playoffs. So finished 4th in the end. So I've underestimated them a lot, but Sunderland for the past probably month this season, they've just been in autopilot mode. And same could be said for Preston, who I overestimated. I thought they'd be their average mid-table position in 11th. It's not turned out that way. They survived by the skin of their teeth in 20th. And yeah, obviously it's never a good sign or a good omen when you sack your manager after just 1 game. Ryan Lowe out of the door after a 2-0 defeat on the opening day to Sheffield United. And then Paul Heckingbottom coming in. Not a lot has changed, other than the FA Cup run where they made it to the quarterfinals, of course. But yeah, I think that definitely distracted Preston a lot and took its toll on the players, because the last 7 games or so of the season, they've really not been good. And only picked up 3 points in our eight games, the last 8 games. It was relegation for them, but they've just about managed to stay up. And I don't know what the future holds for Preston. You know, definitely there's a lot of strengthening in some key areas next season. Paul Heckingbottom as a manager, I'm not so sure. So yeah, could next season be the year Preston finally drop out? Who knows? We'll have to wait and see. But they weren't their usual mid-table finish this season, that's for sure. And then what was I? I was 10 places out with. Yeah, I was 10 places out with 2 teams. I was 10 places out with Watford, and I was 10 places out with Blackburn. Watford, I said they had come bottom of the table. Now, that is a really, really shocking prediction for me, and I hold accountable for that. But, however, they the second half of the season they've been playing like a relegation team. You know, it's coming. It's coming. Like Stoke, it's coming. If it's not next year, not the year after, it's coming. It's coming. You know, the fans celebrating Luton going down. Don't worry, lads. Soon you will join them in League One. So yeah, you don't have to worry about anything there. It's not about anything against Watford. It's just that's nothing team, aren't they? That team are just there, and you know, just it would actually be it'd be for the best if they go down, you know, a reset, get the positives out, isn't it? Their ownership, get them out. You know, whether they sack a manager every 2 days or not, like they did in the season so cleverly, nothing's going to change. The investment is poor. I think what was it? Their top scorer was who was Vacanbio, 10 goals. It's not good enough. Not good enough. They are a team on the downward trajectory. It is sad, but they're just a nothing team. I'd be for the best if they go relegated. I'm sorry if there is any Watford fans watching, but I know I'm wrong here, and I'm seeing quite bitter about it. But being a frustrating team since coming down from the Championship, and I think you guys can see can feel the frustration as well, 100%. But I was wrong with Watford. Overall, I do hold myself accountable for predicting Watford to go down when I finish 14th. And Blackburn as well, I've underestimated. I think a lot of people underestimated Blackburn, for sure. 17th I have them. If they just missed out on playoffs in 7th. Again, it's been a weird season for Blackburn. Obviously, John Eustace leaving around February time. They brought in Valérien Ismaël. You know, he's had a good start to his Blackburn tenure. You know, left it a little too late to get into playoffs in the end, but yeah, 100% has overachieved. You know, with all due respect to Blackburn, you know, it's a mid-table squad at best, isn't it? You know, Sammy Smiles was the last season carrying you to survival. Obviously, nobody has put up the same goal output as Smollett had last season for Blackburn. But yeah, it's been really good the last few months. A lot of strengthening the transfer window needs to happen for Blackburn for them to still, you know, compete at the top end of the Championship. But fair play to them. It's been a weird season. Owners still need to go. You know, that's a clear message with half the stadium empty. Owners need to sell the club for the best for themselves and the fans. It is sad, you know, we've got the lowest, percentage of attendance out of any team in the Championship, and the reason for that is bad ownership, quite frankly. But yeah, I underestimate Blackburn. You know, sorry about the dog there. It's late at night, but yeah, I don't know. I underestimate Blackburn, and just yeah, 7th place. Fair play, lads. Can we try to see what you do next season? And you guys aren't ready for the final. I'm sure you're ready, but I'm not ready to reveal my final prediction. But it was really bad. Oh no, boys. Oh no. Oh, it's got to be done. It's got to be done. Oh no. My worst prediction by a country mile this Championship season. Oh, for goodness sake. I bloody predicted Luton to win the league. What do they do? Back-to-back relegations. I don't think anyone could have called it. You know, looking at other people's predictions, they all had Luton, you know, top half, playoffs at least. I just thought, yeah, you know, they built a squad in the Premier League. I was like, everybody was, well, not everybody, but most people were saying at the time in the Premier League, it's a Championship super team. They come back down, it'll be that Tapuyo club. I think the Tapuyo club is definitely Sheffield United now if they do go up through the playoffs. I think, yeah, it's just maybe they had a hangover, maybe overachieved the season they got promoted with the players they have. Obviously, Rob Edwards didn't have a great start, and Bloomfield coming in, he had a good impact on the team. You know, they were It did get a lot more positive results than the first half of the season, but we just left it too late. We brought it to the final day, but we went like 5-1 down to West Brom on the final day. It's really poor showing from them, and they've ultimately paid the price for it, getting relegated in 22nd. I think a lot of people will have Luton as their worst prediction. You guys can just laugh at this, can't you? But yeah, with all that being said, I'm glad to end reacting to our chapter predictions. If you guys did go to enjoy, feel free to leave a like, subscribe if you're new. Let me know what was your worst prediction, your best prediction. Did you have similar predictions to me? Let me know in the comments, boys. But I'll see you next time. Take care and goodbye.